Hello everyone, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. This is Prehistoric Facts special episode number 130, and we're going to be talking about a marine reptile today, and that marine reptile is Tylosaurus. And so here is an image of Tylosaurus. Looks pretty menacing. So some information about Tylosaurus. The name means protuberance or knob lizard. Length 42 to 46 feet, so 12.75 to 14 meters, and weighed 7 tons, 14,000 pounds, lived 86.5 to 75 million years ago in the late Cretaceous period, and found in North America by O.C. Marsh in 1872. So the states where Tylosaurus are found is in like Alabama, Texas, Kansas, some bits of the Dakotas, and there's a few other states out there. So let's continue. And so here's a map in North America, of course. And so Tylosaurus fossils have been found in Alabama, and the state that is labeled AL. You got Texas right here. There's Kansas right here with KS. There's been some fossils found in the Dakotas areas, and I believe there has been Tylosaurus fossils found in Colorado, if I remember correctly. So, anybody just check. Anybody in the comment section, please feel free to let me know what other states Tylosaurus has been found. And so here is an image of Tylosaurus in a size comparison to a human being. And so it is a large mosasaur. And so this is the larger species of Tylosaurus, Pruriger. And so this is actually a very large animal. And so here is the skeleton designs of Tylosaurus. And so this is considered to be a very large mosasaur, and it is actually probably one of the most dangerous mosasaurs of all time. More information about Tylosaurus. So where Tylosaurus actually belongs in terms of a family of reptiles belongs to the Mosasauridae. So it's a mosasaur, and characteristics of mosasaurs: long tail, of course, cone-shaped teeth, and also they have teeth on the roof of the mouth, so whatever they grabbed was not getting out. So this meant that whatever prey they grabbed had nowhere to go but towards the throat. And so that's how you got a mosasaur. And a mosasaur would actually have a forked tongue. Jurassic World got one thing wrong with their mosasaur, and that is it actually had a fleshy tongue instead of a forked tongue. And so that is a big mistake by Jurassic World. But some documentaries that I've seen about mosasaurs, they have gotten the forked tongue on the mosasaurs, and so it seems that it shows pretty much that they're getting it right a little bit more. And based with the forked tongue and how the animal looks, it is related to monitor lizards and snakes. So if you look at a Komodo dragon, the Komodo dragon is the largest lizard alive today and is part of the monitor lizard family. And if you actually kind of see, if you compare a Komodo dragon to a mosasaur, you're actually almost looking at the same thing. And so that is actually pretty clear that mosasaurs were giant monitor lizards that actually lived in the ocean. And so that is pretty cool. And like snakes, mosasaurs can actually expand their jaws so that they can actually eat some of their prey whole. And that's pretty neat, but very scary. And of course, Tylosaurus is actually one of the largest mosasaurs. There's still some debate of whether or not the plain Mosasaurus is actually the largest mosasaur of all time. There are some estimates have been towards 45 to 50 feet, whereas there are some estimates that have been saying that, oh no, it's just 40 to 45 feet, whereas Tylosaurus would be considered the largest because it was 42 to 46 feet, but that's still up for debate. So that's just a very big debate amongst paleontologists out there. So the environment in where Tylosaurus was living in, and of course it was living in the water, and outside of the water it would be warm and humid, and the waters would be very warm. In middle of North America, it was underwater, and that would be the Western Interior Seaway, and that's why I have here is WIS, which is Western Interior Seaway. And dinosaurs still roamed on the land, and remember, mosasaurs are not dinosaurs. They are reptiles. They're pretty much a marine reptile. So a lot of people tend to confuse like the plesiosaurs, mosasaurs, pliosaurs, ichthyosaurs as dinosaurs, but they're not. They're actually a different group of animals. They belong to the reptile family. Even though dinosaurs are part of the reptile family, the dinosaurs are their own thing. Whereas the marine reptiles, they have certain types of relatives that are not common with dinosaurs. But there are other animals that were around the time of Tylosaurus. There were pterosaurs flying in the air. Of course, there were also birds flying in the air, but those were also birds actually living in the ocean, like Hesperornis. And of course, tons of fish in the time of Tylosaurus. Like, you got your basic fishes, you got your predatory fish like Zephactinus, and even sharks. And so some pretty big sharks. Some sharks could actually be a little bit bigger than a great white, and so that is pretty scary. And then you have corals everywhere, of course, and a lot of corals in the Mesozoic era. You have tons of invertebrates like your squids, your ammonites, and jellyfish and all those sorts of things. You got your long-necked plesiosaurs like elasmosaurs. You have turtles. You have the gigantic sea turtle Archelon, and then you have your short-necked plesiosaurs like your Dolichorhynchops, and of course other mosasaurs. So the prey of Tylosaurus, it has tons of prey, a lot of them, and so it would eat sharks, squid, juvenile plesiosaurs, fish, of course, Archelon, and even smaller mosasaurs. There have been stomach contents that have been found on certain mosasaurs, especially large ones like Tylosaurus, showing that they did eat juvenile mosasaurs or even other species of mosasaurs. And of course, they have bits of like shell from an Archelon. They have found fish bones. They have found shark teeth, and found beaks of squid, and even ammonite shells found in their stomachs. And of course, and also bones from juvenile plesiosaurs. That's pretty much what their prey is going to be. And so here is Archelon on the top, and so you actually will see here is that it's considered to be the largest sea turtle that has ever lived, and it's a pretty big animal. And so the shell would actually be a lot wider than how far we can spread our arms, and so that's pretty big. It's a pretty big animal. And then here's Cratoxorhina, and this is the giant shark that actually will live in the Western Interior Seaway during the time of Tylosaurus. And this animal would actually be between 20 to 25 feet long. So that is pretty considerate for a great white. And its nickname was the Ginsu shark because their teeth would actually take bite-sized chunks of flesh and actually just tear apart flesh from its victims. And Cratoxorhina would actually prey on juvenile Tylosaurus because a juvenile Tylosaurus would actually be very vulnerable to not only just other mosasaurs, but also Cratoxorhina. And so Cratoxorhina would actually be a pretty good adversary for Tylosaurus. And of course, the extinction of Tylosaurus, it was due to climate change. And one big thing that was actually happening 75 million years ago, the Western Interior Seaway was starting to retreat. So the seaway was actually getting smaller, and of course smaller mosasaurs were taking over the seas. Some of them did get large, some of them actually did turn to Mosasaurus, and of course pretty much their prey disappeared. So like their plesiosaurs were starting to disappear, and of course the large sharks that they depended on were starting to disappear, and so smaller sharks were actually kind of patrolling the oceans near the end of the age of dinosaurs. And so that's how the extinction of Tylosaurus actually happened. Now here's a difference of North America during our time. On the left, this is when Tylosaurus was alive. This would actually be 85 million years ago, and so you can see the Western Interior Seaway is wide, splits North America in two, and you can see where the states are pretty much covered, and even Providence is right up here, pretty much covered in northern Canada. And then when you on the right here, you actually see here is the Western Interior Seaway, or North America, during 75 million years ago, and you can definitely see that the Western Interior Seaway is starting to close up, and there's a reason why. Around between 75 to 70 million years ago, this is when the Rocky Mountains were beginning to form, and the Rocky Mountains were the reason why the Western Interior Seaway drained, and so that is pretty clear that mountain ranges can actually play a part in reducing a large waterway, and so that's pretty significant. So the next episode of Prehistoric Facts would be on March 28th, 2019, and there'll be a Q&A episode. And so if you got any questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dino Chris. Like the page, you get your posted questions on the wall or in the comments section. Remember, keep your questions short and to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. That's my Twitter page. I'll post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you. And also, for younger people out there, to make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's best motivation you can have for good education. It's very important to have good education. So with a good education, you get a good job in the future. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.